who will do the fighting in the Great War, the Malhama? Who will do the fighting? They are deferring a hadith. And depending upon which hadith you accept, you come to different conclusions. For me, the compelling hadith, which defines this event, and the one which is playing out before our eyes now, before our very eyes, is the hadith of Sahih Bukhari, that the river Euphrates will uncover a mountain of gold, and the people will fight for that gold. And 99 out of every 100 who fight for that gold will be killed. Hence, this cannot be a war which has already taken place in history. There's never been a war like this in all of human history. Never. This is a unique war in which 99% of all combatants would be killed. It doesn't say 99% of mankind would be killed. No. It says that 99% of those who fight for the mountain of gold would be killed. And each would say, I will be the one who will survive. But the believers must not touch that gold. This is my opinion, that this hadith clearly, without a shadow of a doubt, is describing the Malhama or Armageddon. A unique war in human history, unlike any war that has ever taken place before. It does not tell us the geography of the war, in which geographical location it will take place. But it does tell us that they're going to be fighting for the mountain of gold. So we know who are the combatants. The people who will be fighting, are people who will be fighting for that mountain of gold. The Salafi world has their feet stuck in concrete. I regret having to speak like this. I don't know about Tabligh Jamaat, they're not even in the picture at all. The conventional Islamic scholarship, traditional Islamic scholarship, is inadequate to deal with this hadith. Because they're all waiting for the mountain of the metal to come out from underneath the river. The entire world of Darul Uloom is waiting for the mountain of the metal to come out from underneath the river. And when that mountain of metal, the metal gold, when that mountain of metal comes out of the river, then they will wait to see the big war which will take place over that mountain of the metal of gold. My advice to them, wait ahead of you. Yes. Because after I graduated from the Alima Institute of Islamic Studies in 1971, I was hurried to get out and go back home. Very foolish on my part. I broke the heart of my teacher. I wanted to get back home for many reasons, one of which was because my mother was a widow and she was growing blind. She needed someone to be by her side, and I just wanted to get back home to be with my mother. This was 1971. But when I went back home in 1971, my teacher had ordered me to get a job and earn your own livelihood. You must ensure that your livelihood is independent of the Muslim community. So your hand will not be like this, it will be like this. So I applied for a job in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And they interviewed me. And at the end of the interview, they said, Mr. Hussain, we would like to have you in the foreign ministry, but we want you to go back to university. We gave you a scholarship to study international relations. And I was delighted to get the scholarship to go to the Institute of International Relations of the University of the West Indies. It was a one-year course, a postgraduate diploma. And I topped the class. And I've got a further scholarship to go to Geneva, to the Graduate Institute of International Studies in Geneva. It was because of the studies that I conducted in international relations, and in particular, international monetary economics. The best teachers I had were in Trinidad, not in Switzerland. the, the teachers who taught me in Trinidad, they excited me. Oh, yes. Professor Leslie Manigan from Haiti was the director of the institute. He was a fabulous teacher. And I was excited, I was thrilled by being a student of international relations in the Institute of International Relations. Because of that background of studies, I was able to discern that this hadith was speaking about something else, not the actual mountain of the metal. Because just after I left Trinidad and I went to Switzerland, it was 1973, the war took place, yes. And I went to Switzerland in 74, to Geneva. And while I was there in Geneva, Kissinger flew to Riyadh and he met with King Faisal, rahimahullah. And the deal was struck. The deal was struck that Saudi Arabia would sell oil for only US dollars. And that was what got the US dollar off the hook, because the US dollar was in no man's land from 71 to 73. And from the time Saudi Arabia made that deal with the United States and then got other Arab oil producing countries to join it, that oil will be sold for only US dollars. And then OPEC came on board. That was when the international relations in Geneva. It was a golden opportunity for me to understand. I'd already done my studies in the Quran and Hadith and so on at the Ilmi Institute. And Allah blessed me that I was there at that time in Geneva. And I was able to recognize that an ocean of oil underneath the river had now begun to function as a mountain of gold. That was the implication of the birth of the petrodollar. So now then, the mountain of gold for which they're going to be fighting is the petrodollar monetary system. It is that petrodollar monetary system which has made the United States fabulously wealthy, beyond their wildest dreams. But it's a bubble. It is a fragile dot, the petrodollar, because it can collapse. And China, the same China that these schoolboys are constantly attacking, viciously attacking me, maliciously attacking me. They do nothing else but to attack China. These schoolboys, leave the schoolboys. Don't bother with them. They're a waste of time. China taken the lead to challenge the petrodollar, because the petrodollar monetary system is unjust. But the schoolboy doesn't know that. He lives for only one thing. This is put in this and put in that and ask on this and ask on that. That's his only way of life. He doesn't understand. But this is atrocious. This is unjust, the petrodollar monetary system. They don't teach this subject in the Darul Uloom. But we who understand this subject, we who understand this momentous moment in history of abominable oppression to the monetary system, we have to applaud the effort of China to challenge it. No, 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 you mustn't say a good word about China at all. You mustn't say a good word about China. That's just good word. China is now challenging the petrodollar monetary system. And China could not have done it because if you're challenging the petrodollar monetary system, you can bring down the whole of the modern Western world to its knees. They wage war on you. They wage war on China for opium. Okay? So they wage war on you. So that China had to first make an alliance with Russia before China could challenge the monetary system. China could not make that alliance with Russia so long as it was the Soviet Union. No. The Soviet Union maintained a profile that was hostile to China. And there was wisdom in that. But I can't explain that to you now. Why was the Soviet Union hostile to China? That's your homework. Do it. There was great wisdom in the Soviet Union. China, the profile of hostility towards China, that there's no possibility of unity with China, and fraternity and so on. Because it folded its strength and it left it in the darkness of the night. And what replaced the Soviet Union was a religious way of life. That is, the Russian people are now going to return to Christianity. And that is what has happened these last 20, 25 years. The Russian people have been consistently returning step by step to their Orthodox Christian way of life. But the schoolboy doesn't know that. I don't know what to do with the schoolboy. He wouldn't think he's only there to criticize Imran Hussein, criticize Imran Hussein. So now then, when Russia and China saw what was happening in Russia, China knew, because the Chinese are not fools, China knew that the Orthodox Christian world would never bend its knee before Western Christianity. Never. So that the Orthodox Christian world can be trusted. It was then that China reached out to Russia, and Russia reciprocated. And while the Western world was eating their biryani and going to sleep, the alliance between Russia and China suddenly appeared. And the Western world woke up. Woke up. What happened? When did this happen? This is the greatest calamity we've ever faced in our history as a civilization. Yes. They planned their plans. And Allah planned his plans. And Allah is the greatest of planners. But the schoolboy doesn't understand that. So then let's leave him and move on. Move on. I know you're fed up of hearing about the schoolboy. But these people have created so many problems. They're like snipers, sniping, killing people. That's what they are. Nuisance. That I have to do something to ensure that you understand that they have only nuisance value. And my effort that I'm working, I want to share this with you today. This is my life's work. I recognize that the world of Islamic scholarship, traditional Islamic scholarship, has failed in this, understanding the reality of the world today, understanding what is happening in the world of money. And I understand that their failure is also because of lack of methodology, And so what I am doing is I am working as a teacher, a humble teacher, to try to build with the young ones who are now 17 years of age and 18 and 19 and 20. Build from these young ones a new generation of Islamic scholarship to replace this discredited one. And that new generation of Islamic scholarship, when it comes, will dazzle the world. This is my life's work. So in order to achieve this new generation of Islamic scholars, I have to ensure that they realize the new sense value of these schoolboys. They will not be diverted with their new sense value. So now then, it was when China was able to establish that alliance with Russia. Only then and not before did the Chinese now challenge the petrodollar monetary system. What we are now facing in the world is the war for the mountain of gold. The actual fighting has not yet started. The shadow boxing is going on. But eventually, I have said this in previous occasions, and I'm not the only one saying, there are marvelous men and women of great insight in different parts of the world. I know some of them who are saying the same thing. I'm not the only voice. That the Great War will take place when the economy is about to collapse, when the monetary system comes to collapse. And they will need the Great War to divert attention from their responsibility for the collapse of the economy and the collapse of money. So this is my answer to you. It took so long for me to explain to you who are those who are going to be fighting. On one side, it'll be Russia and China leading the fight. And with Russia and China, the world of Islam is not going to be participating in the world. No, we're not right because he said, don't touch that gold. That's what the Prophet said. But on the other side will be the Anglo-American Judeo-Christian Zionist alliance. They will be fighting. And Israel wants the war to take place. Why? Did I leave that as your homework? Israel wants the war to take place because Israel cannot replace the United States with tax to Laker so long as modern Western civilization maintains its dominant position in the world.